All right, let's dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're completely cutting through the endless fitness industry noise to build a straightforward, science-based physique blueprint. No fluff, no marketing lies, just the raw data and the actual, actionable steps you need to transform your body.
So you're putting in the work, but still kinda skinny fat?
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating, isn't it? You're dropping serious cash on flashy supplements, torturing yourself with these endless, brutal cardio sessions, and yet, when you take your shirt off, you still just look soft. There's no real muscle definition, no shape. You're just stuck in this super frustrating middle ground where eating more makes you fatter, and eating less just makes you a smaller version of soft.
Look, we've got to talk about the elephant in the room, that exhausting myth of endless cardio. Running for miles and jumping on extreme starvation diets like zero carb or keto just because they're trending right now is not the answer. Contrast that with the simple, actionable truth, which is strategic body recomposition and daily walking. Honestly, you absolutely do not need to suffer and completely drain your energy to see incredible results. So here's our actual blueprint for the day. First, fueling the machine, then the training foundation. After that, we'll hit the aesthetic details, and finally, stripping the fat. Let's get into it. Step 1, fueling the machine. We're talking diet and supplements. Now, the data here is pretty brutal. Honestly, like 90% of supplements out there are basically just expensive grass. If we look at the F tier, it's full of absolute scams. You've got BCAAs, which you're getting from your food anyway, fat burners, which are mostly just jitter-inducing caffeine pills, and mass gainers, which are basically $80 tubs of cheap sugar. But moving up to the S tier, we find the undisputed kings. We're talking creatine for proven muscle energy and strength, vitamin D3 because, let's face it, most of us are sunshine deficient, and magnesium for sleep and recovery. Combine those with A-tier basics like a good protein powder and omega-3s, and you are totally set. Seriously, skip the multivitamin spray and pray approach and just focus on this data right here. But hey, what about actual real food? Well, we found 10 incredibly accessible whole foods that naturally optimize your hormones, specifically your testosterone. We're talking sardines, way better than that overhyped farm-raised salmon, by the way, pomegranate juice, onions, and whole eggs. And yes, please eat the yolks. That is exactly where the cholesterol and vitamins are. We've also got dark chocolate, raw honey, fenugreek, leafy greens, and quality beef. But honestly, the most interesting food on this list might just be oysters. Those zinc-loaded ocean boogers are basically a nutritional cheat code for naturally blocking estrogen conversion and boosting your T levels. Moving right along to section 2, the training foundation, recomp and style. Okay, so let's break down the exact 4-step body recomposition protocol. Because if you're skinny fat, you are actually in the perfect position to build muscle and lose fat at the exact same time. The data suggests eating at maintenance, or maybe a slight 15% calorie deficit, instead of doing traditional heavy bulking or crash dieting. Step 2 is prioritizing protein. You want to hit 1.6 to 2 grams per pound of body weight. Step 3 focuses on progressive overload in the gym. You know, if you benched 135 pounds last week, maybe try 140 this week. And step 4 is hitting 7,000 to 10,000 daily steps. Emphasizing tracking is absolutely crucial here. Track your meals, track your lifts. The data just doesn't lie. It's always kind of fascinating to weigh the raw grit of bodyweight training against the scalable precision of the gym, right? I mean, calisthenics is totally free and builds incredible functional power, really teaching your body to move as a single unit. But man, that progression curve is hard. Going from a standard push-up to a full muscle-up takes months of dedication. The gym, on the other hand, sure, it costs money, but it is unbelievably beginner-friendly. You can scale way down to a 2-kilo dumbbell, safely isolate specific muscles for maximum size, and really easily track your numbers. If you're overweight and just starting out, the gym is definitely your easier on-ramp. All right, let's hit part 3, the aesthetic details, specifically your forearms and your neck. Let's talk about the brachioradialis. This is that meaty muscle sitting right on the top part of your forearm. And honestly, it has the highest growth potential in your entire lower arm. Why this matters is that strong forearms don't just maximize your visual presence and make your arms pop in 3D. Balancing your flexors and extensors actually prevents that agonizing elbow pain, tennis or golfer's elbow, that ends up ruining so many workouts. Hammer curls and reverse curls are going to be your absolute best friends here. Next up are the sternocleidomastoids. Say that 3 times fast, right? Basically, these are those thick, ropey neck muscles running from your ears all the way down to your collarbone. Skipping neck training is a massive mistake. Training this specific muscle group provides built-in armor for your spine. It helps fix bad posture, and it fundamentally changes your entire aesthetic. You go from looking like a bendy straw holding a bowling ball to looking like an absolute athletic unit. Just adding in some simple neck curls and extensions can completely flip your physique.
And finally, part 4, stripping the fat. The walking hacks. So why does your body seem to actively fight your fat loss? Well, think of your fat cells as having a tiny little switch. The fat on your face or your arms, those switches flip to burn super easily. That's exactly why your face leans out first. But your belly fat? Oh, your body holds onto that like emergency life insurance. It literally welds the switches to store because from an evolutionary standpoint, it thinks you might starve tomorrow. Because there is a massive physiological difference between doing brutal treadmill sprints and just taking a calm, fat-burning walk. Intense cardio massively spikes your stress and cortisol levels. And when that happens, your body kind of panics and locks those stubborn belly fat switches straight to off. So you end up burning the sandwich you ate for lunch, not your belly fat. Strategic walking, on the other hand, keeps your cortisol nice and low. It calmly flips those fat-burning switches right to on, allowing your body to tap directly into its slow-burning stored fat reserves. So the magic number to aim for here is 10,000. Hitting between 7 and 10,000 daily steps is literally the requirement to quietly burn fat 7 days a week. And the absolute beauty of this is that walking doesn't trigger those extreme hunger spikes that intense running does. Actually, a brilliant hack here is to just walk for 10 minutes right after your meals. It completely crushes the insulin spike before it even starts and tells your body to use that food as fuel rather than storing it as fat. Now, if you want to speed things up a bit, the absolute magic incline percentage is 12%. Walking at a 12% incline at around 3 miles per hour for just 30 minutes turns a regular, boring treadmill session into nuclear fat loss. Your glutes fire, your hamstrings kick in, but because you weren't sprinting, you stay firmly locked in that low cortisol fat-burning zone. But I have to give you a firm warning here. Do not hold the handrails. Seriously. The second you lean back and grab those rails, you instantly ruin the entire incline walking hack. You are effectively turning a 12% incline right back into a 2% incline. It's form over ego, always. Drop the incline if you're struggling, but let your arms swing naturally and let your legs do the heavy lifting. So it all comes down to this ultimate question. Are you going to keep trying to outrun a bad plan, or are you finally going to execute the blueprint? We've stripped away the noise, we've tossed the fake supplements, and we've called out the bad science. Stop looking for painful shortcuts, embrace the data we've explored today, and just start executing. What's your first step going to be? Thanks so much for learning with me today in this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.